Good afternoon, my name is Rochelle Barham and these are your latest sporting headlines. Manchester City's midfielder Rodri has been charged by the FA for misconduct. In an interview, he questioned the referee's integrity after their 2-2 draw at Tottenham. The FA say that Rodri acted in an improper manner during a post-match media interview by making comments that implied bias from match officials. Rodri now has until Wednesday to provide a response. In the Premier League, Tottenham have reached an agreement with the old Juventus boss to become interim head coach until the end of the season. Details need to be finalised, however, there is a verbal agreement in place. Spurs will look for a permanent replacement to Thomas Frank in the summer. After several near misses in the Winter Olympics, Team GB look to finally end their medal drought, after many stars have finished just below the podium. This looks set to change, with Matt Weston leading by 0.3 seconds in the men's skeleton. Weston also broke the track record twice in the first two heats on Thursday. Liverpool are going through an availability crisis ahead of their upcoming FA Cup game against Brighton tomorrow. Dominic Szoboszlai will be unavailable after he received a red card due to his challenge on Erling Haaland. Injuries are also causing a problem for the club as Liverpool will be playing multiple times a week for the foreseeable future.
Management is important as well, because the last thing we could use right now is another injury. But yeah, that is always the difficult balance for a manager, including his performance staff and medical staff. What is the best decision to make every single time? And it is also true that it wouldn't be for the first time that a player could get injured if he has to play 3 games in 7 days. At
the T20 Cricket World Cup, Zimbabwe beat Australia by 23 runs in Colombia on Friday. Blessing Murizabani grabbed a career-best 4 wickets for 17 runs as Zimbabwe remained calm to see through their win. It was the first T20 World Cup game since 2007 where Zimbabwe had a stunning 5-wicket win over Australia. Arsenal women also boosted their quarter-final hopes on Wednesday night, securing a 4-0 win over OH Leuven in their first leg tie. The defending Women's Champions League holders will face fellow WSL side Chelsea if they progress to the next round. I attended Arsenal versus Manchester City to find out more about the Gunners, a club built on community. With women's football growing over the last few years, Arsenal have been working collectively with their fans to make a matchday experience like no other.
Okay, so we're in the stadium, vibes are high, yeah, teams are warming up, we've got our food, got our shirts.
To a friendly environment, even a matchday pie can hardly go amiss.
Arsenal women are obviously one of the biggest teams in the country, and the way they cultivate their kind of not only safe spaces but also their sense of fan community, I think is really impressive, and other clubs should really take notes. I think the way that their supporters interact is kind of one of its own for the women's game at all. I mean, you go to a game, not only are there thousands of people there, but the way they interact is similar to the men's game than a lot of the other women.
Fans all pack into the lower tiers of the stadium to support the team.
Okay, so it's half time. Arsenal scored, which, to be honest, I wasn't expecting. It was Olivia Smith that scored for Arsenal. I can't actually remember the minute, it was about the 15th. And at the minute, there are the penalty shootouts with Gunnosaurus. There you go, everyone's clapping.
The Arsenal attendance model, I mean, certainly for the women, is groundbreaking. I mean, they're one of the only women's teams to have sold out their men's stadium per se. They're one of the only teams to use their men's stadium week after week after week, and I think that's really impressive. Not only how well the club do that, but also how well the supporters turn up week in, week out.
So, can Arsenal women still continue to sell thousands of tickets over the years, and will their success influence other clubs? Ireland start week 2 against Italy tomorrow at 2:10 p.m. England face Scotland, and Gregor Townsend said England is the biggest game of the season, and it's even more important after their opening loss to Italy. Wales versus France ends week 2 on Sunday at 3:10. Wales head coach Steve Tandy insists on keeping his focus on areas that the team can improve in.
We've got to be better. We've got to focus on what we didn't do in England, where we need to get more of an imprint in the game. So for us, it's, everyone will know and everyone's aware of what France did to Ireland, but ultimately we have to be focusing on what we can do better going into this game, rather than it being about the underdog or...
The official 2026 testing is underway for the upcoming Formula One season. It is now day 3 in Bahrain as the drivers are getting used to the new regulations. Nathan Wallen is with me now to tell us more. Hi Nathan.
Hi, how are
so
you?
what can you tell us?
So these new regulations have come in place, and it's now 50-50 power split between the engine and the hybrid system. Before it was 70-30. The cars are now also significantly smaller, 200 millimetres in length and about 100 millimetres in width, which should allow for a lot more overtaking and a lot more racing. Although we have heard from 4-time world champion Max Verstappen that it's now formally on steroids, even though the current world champion says it's a lot of fun. We'll have to see as it goes on, as testing, there's a lot of sandbagging that goes on throughout, so the teams don't know the full potential of each car. But it's going to be an interesting season to see how the regulations do come into place and how teams react to it. Thank you.
That will be interesting. Thank you, Nathan. A place in the UD UK Challenge Cup semi-final was up for grabs as Solent University faced local rivals, the University of Portsmouth. The game had everything from nerves to pressure, and the darts lived up to the billing, with the result being decided in the last leg of the day. Our reporter Patrick Fitzgerald spoke to those involved and reported on the game and the drama as it happened.
Solent versus Portsmouth. The UD UK Challenge Cup is down to the last 8. A semi-final place in the Nationals is at stake, and nerves are settling in.
I felt sick for days. It is big. It's hard. It's one of them. I've said to my players, treat it as just another game. But I don't want them to go in nervous. But I think being in charge of it all, I've got every right to be. There's always been a little bit of back and forth between us and Pompey, as there always is. When it comes to any sport, and the fact that. I do feel we are better than them, and the fact they got one over us last week, I think potentially helps us because we know.
I think if you asked me yesterday, I probably would have said I'm really nervous. But today, I think it's just more excitement now. Just ready to get going, ready to go and just have fun with my friends, whilst obviously playing the game that I love to play.
This group was only formed last year, and the growth and support it has had is nothing short of remarkable.
We've got 15 of our lads coming down to watch who aren't playing. We've got players from the football team. We've got people who have nothing to do with Solent darts coming to watch.
Similar to previous matches, the teams remain neck and neck throughout the entire day, never going more than 2 games in front of each other. After 3 hours of games, it came down to a 9v9 game of 1001 to decide the winner, and Portsmouth took their chance. Pat Fitzgerald, Solent Sports News.
10-pin bowling is usually a bit of fun between friends, but how can you reach that next level? Ed Groves has the full story.
Basketball again? No. This week we're doing bowling.
It's a big gap. If you're going to turn up once or twice a year, you're not going to win much. My name's Nick Longworth. I went out on a works do one evening, liked it so much, thought I'd come down to my local centre and see if I could join a league. They were all full up So I decided to start my own league. I'm still running this league here now, 30 years later on. It's like with any sport, you know, the more you practice, the better you are. So, you know, you need to be coming down and practicing, you know, 2 or 3 times a week, if not more. In competitions, there's generally a dress code, no jeans. You're already banned if it was there, but as it's a fun night, you'll be all right. Generally, you'd have a shirt with your name on the back, which we have. We have our team name and our own names. For general league and fun, there's no restrictions. I mean, we don't want mankinis and things like that, but yeah, but everything else is fine. Yeah.
Some people would say there's a bit of luck. We're on string pins here, not free fall. So strings do have an effect on knocking pins down when they probably shouldn't have done. So there is an element of luck, but a lot of it is skill. Hampshire used to have 8 or 9 bowling centres. There's now 2 or 3. We used to have youth bowling clubs in each one of those. And I used to run one of them at Millbrook for 20 years. All of that's died down now. The centres don't want that sort of thing in. They sometimes don't like us here in leagues. I mean, we were lucky. They took us on over at Hollywood. It's enjoyable. And you've got people of all ages, you know, from the youngsters, 2 or 3-year-old with a ramp and that. And we've got bowlers in their 80s that bowl in our leagues. There's no discrimination in age to come and enjoy bowling.
Ed Groves, Solent Sports News.
Some say faith can move mountains, but at Bridge the Gap, it's about moving footballs. The Christian organisation gather every Monday to play football and encourage fun, fellowship and friendship. Lloyd Stevens visited the group this week to discover more.
This might look like any other kickabout, but actually, this one is slightly different. Bridge the Gap is a Christian organisation that provides a safe space for young men from ages 18 to 30 to play 5-a-side and 7-a-side football. They have groups all over the UK and are branching into America. Zach Davis is the site leader of this group here in Southampton. I wanted to know where the name Bridge the Gap came from.
So the gap that we're trying to bridge is between football and church. So originally it was started by a guy called Tristan, our CEO of the charity, that had a vision and was told in prayer about starting a football charity to get young men together to, as I said, bridge the gap between football and church. So the idea is we would love to have everyone here to come to know Jesus, how we all know him, and we use a football as a vessel to do that.
Isaac Evans plays for Bridge the Gap's team and Paulinho Carretta is a regular on a Monday night. As an organisation with a clear goal in mind, I wanted to see what effect it has had on its participants.
Yeah, I think communication-wise, I think just talking on the pitch, having chats with boys, I get to know different people from different cultures and different backgrounds, like people from uni come, maybe people from the local area, and I get to chat with them, which is really nice.
It's open doors. It's open doors to a different way of thinking when playing football. Football can be a very competitive sport. The footballing community can be quite boisterous, rude at times, and here at Bridge the Gap, that's not the case. It's competitive, as football should be, but it's competitive and friendly at the same time. There's a level of mutual respect.
I then moved on to find out what keeps them coming back every Monday.
I came to Bridge the Gap to play football, I can't lie. The main focus was football. I absolutely love football, and I couldn't live without it.
And I came and everyone here was so nice. I was just like, it's football which is less serious, which I enjoy, and it's just making more friends, which is really nice.
Whether they're hitting the top corner or just enjoying the company, it's clear that these players are finding more than just a workout.
Melvin Armstrong is currently with a member of the organisation right now.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. My name is Melvin Armstrong and I'm joined by Stefan Bakula, active member who goes to BTG quite a lot. First and foremost, Bakula, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, yes, my name's Stefan Bakula and I'm a student at Solent University. I do football studies as a course. Outside of uni, I do go to BTG very often as well, and yeah, something I enjoy doing a lot.
Yeah, and what has BTG specifically done for you in your life? BTG is Bridge the Gap.
For me, BTG came at a very good time. It was a time where, like, I'd say I wasn't very myself. Like, I met a load of good people. For example, Tristan, Zach, like them two are probably like, they've helped me a lot in my life, and I've also met other good friends there, and it's just basically a community where we all play football at the same time, know Jesus. So yeah.
Yeah, and you just spoke about Zach and Tristan there. Obviously, Zach is a site leader at our site in Southampton, and Tristan is the CEO who also lives in Southampton. Can you just tell us how important your relationship is with them?
Yeah, like I said, they came at a very good time, because later on in the year I was going through a very hard time with medical issues, like being diabetic, and they were really there to help me. Not only I see him as a CEO and a leader at BTG, but I also see him as like a mentor. I see him as someone that teaches me a lot of good things that I've learned over the past year. Same with Zach, that I don't just see him as a site leader, like I'd see him as like a mentor, a tutor, someone that I can really look up to.
Yeah, and would you recommend the viewers to come to BTG?
Oh yes, 100%. BTG is something that a lot of people, if you like to play football, you will enjoy it a lot. So I say, get yourself down there.
Perfect. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Melvin. That's all from me and all of us in the studio. Don't forget to check out our website, Solent Sports News. See you next time and take care.